Yes, I think we are on Facebook. Yes, already. Yeah, please unmute. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mitra Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 73 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight class, we are going to discuss a new sutta, which is Sabbāsava Sutta. Sabbāsava Sutta is the sixth sutta from the total of 10 sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. Tonight will be the second class of the Sabbāsava Sutta. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous 71 classes there. For the Sutta discussion Zoom class is always open. Therefore, whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom, where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang Facebook Messenger. We are always welcoming newcomers. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya of University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, of University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from year 2012 till 2016. Bhante is currently a senior advisor to Pratisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at pratisota.blogspot.com. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another day of our Friday TRV Sutta discussion. Today, we have newcomers too, I think. Today, Sutta discussion day 73. Sabbāsava Sutta, Āsavās to be abandoned by seeing part 1. I put it as part 1 because there are certain other aspects of the first way of abandoning what we call Āsavās. So we have Aliana, Kelvin, Kim, TC Lim, Nayan, P. Ang, Hema, Yap, Jacqueline, Lim Sakun, and maybe probably a couple others might be joining. All right, so before we get started, let's pay respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Right. So 2 weeks ago, we started off the sutta, new sutta, Sabbāsava Sutta. Last Friday, I was down with the flu, so I could not continue that day. So today is the session that I was supposed to do last Friday. I think there are newcomers here too, probably just to refreshen your understanding about the sutta. We discussed that Sabbāsava Sutta appears as the second sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya. Majjhima Nikaya means the middle length suttas, and this appears as the second sutta. It doesn't matter where it is mentioned, but it is a part of the canon. Because what you call compilation of the Tipitaka and in the Nikayas, they were done by monks after the Buddha passed away. The Buddha never know what Majjhima Nikaya, what Digha Nikaya, what Kuttaka, Anguttara, Sangyutta. He has no idea about it. But only for the preservation of the different areas of the Dhamma and perhaps Vinaya too, they compile. That is how we have to understand. So if somebody thinks that I'm going to start reading suttas from Digha Nikaya to Kuttaka Nikaya, that is going to be a misunderstanding. Because you have to consult, I always mention that, you have to consult a good teacher. What suttas am I supposed to read? Because just because there are a lot of suttas, you are not supposed to read. Because there are different other ideas, meanings in many suttas. Some suttas are only given to certain particular individuals, not for lay people too. But many suttas were given to monastics. Yeah. Thereby you can also get a certain understanding about the idea. But I, caution you just to get some support from a teacher if you really want to read one by one. But I think what we've been picking up are very important ones, because we started from the normal suttas, Mahamangala, Ratana, Metta, Sigaluvada, Dhammacakkappavattana, and today, second day of the Sabbāsava Sutta. So let's see the meaning here. Sabbāsava. Sabba means, what does Sabba mean? Sabba means all. Āsava means Āsavas. So when you translate Āsavas, you will come up with different meaning. Some people translate this to be cankers, some people translate this to be taints, some people translate this to be fermentations, a lot of translations. So if there are a lot of translations, so let's pick the one that at least reflect the whole idea. Now, Āsava means influxes. So there are what you call apusalas that are influxing from roots, loga, dosa, moha. So let's go to the text. This is the text that we discussed, and I took it from a general translation. So don't worry about the translation names. We will be studying one by one. So we discuss up to this point. Janato aham bhikkhave passato āsavāna kayang vada. The Buddha says that I am telling you the elimination or abandonment of āsavas by not only knowing, but also seeing that it is possible. In the same way, the idea here is that when you are going to overcome your āsavas, knowledge about the certain āsavas and how it arises, how they arise is not enough. You also need seeing how akusalas arise in the real time. And then we discuss kincha bhikkhave janato kincha passato āsavāna kayang vadami. How is it possible to overcome āsavas by knowing and seeing? Yonisocha manasikaram, ayonisocha manasikaram. This is the most important thing, that how someone is going to overcome āsavas in the first place. Yoniso manasikara is what we have to use. What is yoniso manasikara? What is yoniso manasikara? What is manasikara?
Attention.
Manasikara simply means attention. But it is not yoniso. Manasikara simply means attention. Do we have attention naturally for every thought? Do we have an attention?
No.
Yes.
No.
No. See? Someone says yes, someone says no. How about others?
No.
We don't have attention all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. That means are there times that we don't have either yoniso or ayoniso manasikara, right? Now, according to some answers here, if you say that attention, I would say manasikara is not automatic, then that means there should be 3 mental states: yoniso manasikara, ayoniso manasikara, and manasikara. Is it so? How do we solve this issue? Then we have to go to Abhidhamma. Right? I'm not going to discuss all that, but in Abhidhamma it says, with every thought, there are 7 chetasikas that are going to work. One of the chetasikas is manasikara. That means attention is always involved. But attention in that sense could be ayoniso manasikara all the time. Because when you are not putting yoniso part into manasikara, it will always become ayoniso manasikara. So manasikara is automatic. Right? But yoniso manasikara is not automatic. So you have to bring what you call that perspective, being able to look at that particular incident, particular event from its entirety, which is not happening all the time. I think let me show you that Abhidhamma thing, Sabbachitta Sadhara. You are concerned about. That's my thing too. All right. Or you won't be able to see it. It's in Sinhala. Let's see from here. You can see here. Now, these are the 7 chetasikas. That means with every thought, these 7 are going to work. You can see manasikara. See? Contact, feeling, sanya, perception, volition, ekaggata, life faculty, attention. So these are naturally arising at each thought. You don't have to work on it. But if you want to work on it, that means you are going to create yoniso manasikara, wise attention. But mostly it could be simple manasikara. You have no ethical element attached to it. No yoniso, no ayoniso, or mostly ayoniso manasikara. The proof is Abhidhammic interpretation about how it works. Okay, so if you want, I can just send you this thing. Oh, Aaron, see your font size. All systems go. Good. All right, do that. And then we discussed ayoniso bhikkave manasikarotu anuppanna cheva āsavā uppajjanti. When you have ayoniso manasikara, unwise attention, then even the unarisen āsavas, influxes are also going to arise. And also the āsavas that have already arisen, they're going to develop. Yonisochako bhikkave manasikarotu anuppanna cheva āsavāna uppajjanti uppanna cha āsavā. So when you have yoniso manasikara, wise attention, your existing, your active akusala states also go down, and what do you call and then non-active, I would say inactive akusala states, which you don't have, also do not arise. That means yoniso manasikara is the key to us. That means in overcoming our āsavas, the most important thing in the discussion is yoniso manasikara. Right? That means wise attention. Once again, how did we explain wise attention on that day? Let's say now you are just spending your day since today morning. So how does Yoniso Manasikara help you to practice minimizing akusala states, or not creating akusala states, or maybe creating kusala states, or maybe developing your existing kusala states? How does Yoniso Manasikara might have helped you if you had done it? If you had not done it, then you would have not used it. Take your today, the morning that when you woke up early in the morning until this moment of time, how did Yoniso Manasikara could have helped you?
Is it think before you speak? During and
Yes, that is the way how we are supposed to act, speak, and then think. But this Yoniso Manasikara is a higher teaching than that. This is a higher teaching. This is really connected to becoming a Sotapanna, actually. Now, reflect before talk, reflect during talk. There you are going to minimize your apusalas. But Yoniso Manasikara is creating you to understand your own fetters, Sakkaya Ditthi. So we have to look at it a little bit differently. Let's say early in the morning, if you can think about, remember today, maybe you came up with a good memory with somebody, right? Maybe something good, and you have no remorse about it. You had no anger about it, right? And then, of course, you are not creating akusalas. You have no dosa about it. What if you came up with an event where you had a lot of hatred, maybe disappointment, sadness, probably frustration? Then what would have what have you used at that point to understand that particular emotion, state of mind? Ayoniso Manasikara, because you have not been able to understand that particular state of mind. So if you had Yoniso Manasikara in understanding that particular maybe negative event, you would have incorporated, you could have used Yoniso Manasikara to look at it. That means sometimes we cannot filter out good and bad events. So they keep coming to us, right? They keep coming to us. You cannot say, hey, only good things should come to my mind. It won't happen because we are just normal human beings. So whatever the good, bad memories, things are going to happen, arise in our mind, what you are going to use is how do you invest your consciousness in those particular events? And you're going to invest consciousness through Yoniso Manasikara. So then you are not creating akusalas. You are not creating negativities attached to those events. Events are okay. Whatever the events come to your mind, the most important thing is how you're going to see them, how you're going to invest your consciousness in those events. You're going to invest your consciousness with the support of Yoniso Manasikara. So it's very important. If you have been unable to do that, that means you have been bringing lots of Ayoniso Manasikara even to the good events. Now let's take a very good event, dana activity. Someone offered a dana, but this person was not happy about something in that dana. Maybe he or she could not offer a certain thing that she or he expected during the dana, right? So the issue here is that because she or he has not been able to use Yoniso Manasikara, then certain amount of Ayoniso Manasikara arises. And then the end result could be a little different. That means, regardless of the good, bad events, the role that Yoniso Manasikara or Ayoniso Manasikara play out is very important. That's why we have to work on Yoniso Manasikara definitely, and then to lower the Ayoniso Manasikara. While we are having that reflection theory, as Kim mentioned, that is our main attitude in responding to our actions, speeches and then thoughts. While we are doing that, this Yoniso Manasikara part, we have to do it separately at the same time. All right. Okay, so now we have come to the phrase where we understand how these, what you call Āsavās, can be overcome. Now, in the retreat which I conducted under Sacred Pose, I clearly mentioned that there are certain Āsavās that need to be overcome in certain ways. Certain Āsavās in certain ways. That means not all Āsavās in one way. That means we have to prepare us to overcome different Āsavās differently. So what are different ways? There are 7 different ways. These are the ones we are going to learn. Today, let's learn about the phrase and then discuss a little bit about the first way of how to overcome Āsavās. Once again, Atti bhikkhave āsava dassana. Dassana means seeing. And this is very interesting. Dassana means seeing. This is the first one. That means, I think, a lot of people might have not thought that simply by seeing in the akusalas formations in the real time can help that person to overcome those akusalas in the form of Āsavās. It is possible. Because if you can see how Āsavās are building up in your own eyes, maybe in your own ears, you can overcome them. How can you do that? Yoniso Manasikara. Otherwise, you can't do it. Now, that is why we say dassana. Dassana means being able to see how the Āsavās are being formed. Right? Let's talk about a very simple example. Give me a very simple example. Let's say now somebody becomes frustrated over here for something. And then you see the frustration, how that person is going through the frustration. He or she might express certain things about that frustration. So, and then if that person is wise enough, that person can see, okay, this is how I'm becoming frustrated. Why am I being frustrated? How am I going to show my frustration to other people? So there are certain things that person can think even before get frustrated. And for us who are watching this person, the reaction, responses have a role to play too. The way how we're going to respond to that particular person. Right? So that means we can minimize a lot of Āsavās by seeing in their actual formation, because we can see them, how things are happening. Now, say for instance, a big argument that is going to happen in a household. And you see that, okay, argument now, definitely you are going to create lots of elements of hatred, frustration, disappointment, and all that. You see them. Not that it happened and you're looking for a meditation after that. Things are gone by that time. Maybe people have been already ripped off. So you are seeing that, okay, now it's happening now. Somebody is trying to bring that up, and I am letting that happen too. Right? So that is why the Buddha says, dassana could be the best to minimize the elements of negativity, elements of akusalas. Now here, Āsavās. On that day, I shared with you a kind of a very technical list of the akusalas, right? First, I said akusala roots. Remember what they are? What are the akusala roots? Akusala roots. Akusala mool.
Lobha, dosa, moha.
Lobha, dosa, moha. Lobha means greed. Dosa means hatred or aversion. And then moha means delusion. Now, from lobha, dosa, moha, then what you see is that you can see how lobha, dosa, moha create Āsavās, influxes, different Āsavās. Now, basically, there are 4 asavas: Kāmasava, Bhavasava, Ditthāsava, Avijjāsava. That means sensuality is a big influx. Then Bhavasava means becoming, thoughts of becoming. It's also a big type of asana. Then Ditthāsava means creating views. This is my view. I don't care other people's views, and this is my political, social, whatever views, and be very hardcore embedded views. It's also asanas. If you see outside in the world, or even from your household, a lot of people, they clash because they don't feel that their views are getting accommodated. That's right. So it's a big asana. Third asana. Fourth one is avijja. Avijja means ignorance, not knowing the Four Noble Truths, in their true way. So these are the 4 asanas. Now, Lobha Dosa Moha, and then Kama, Bhava, and Ditta, Avijja. Then I shared with you another 2 levels. Third one, we shared about Upakkilesa. I would say Upakkilesa to be some neighboring, or I would say supportive akusala states for you to create kilesas, defilements. So that means akusala moola, then asava, then upakkilesa, then kilesa. Lots of Dhamma speakers or Dhamma practitioners talk about kilesas. This is the process version of the akusala. Right? It's not the refined version. Refined version is roots, akusala roots, then asavas. No. Okay, so let's get to our place here. So the first, as you know, is to overcome asavas by seeing them. Some asavas can be overcome by being restrained, sangvara. So dasana, then sangvara, right? Sangvara means by being restrained. Restrain means, in simple ways, when you are calming down your senses, your sense faculties, your ears, your eyes, your nose, your tongue, your body, your mind. You can minimize lots of asanas, right? We call it Indriya Sangvara. Indriya means sense faculties. So when you can calm your Indriyas, sense faculties, you can minimize lots of asanas. Is it possible? It's possible, right? Because when you create that calmness within your senses. Third is what you call Patisevana. You can see here. Patisevana. Patisevana means reflection. You can see here using, or I would say reflection. Now, this taken from reflection. Now, if you can remember when you offer monks, monastics, robes, dana, maybe medicine, maybe kuti, they cannot simply use them without reflecting why they have got these requisites from the devotees. They have to always remind them that, let's say food, I think you all know, when we have in the retreat, we had a reflection, right? We did not eat right away. I'm eating not for this, not for this, but for this, but for this, and then like that, right? So this reflection helps us to minimize apasanas, right? Otherwise, now, say for instance, how you consume your food when you go for a restaurant, maybe in your household, so tasty, so delicious, right? And then it doesn't say it is bad, but there may be some what you call āsavas that can arise when you are over tasting. Maybe when you do not know some of the boundaries of your tasting, right? Maybe using other things too. What about your clothing? Right? Some people have so much attachment to their greed for their clothing. I bought this from this year, maybe that shop with that person, maybe somebody gave me, right? So much greed attached to that brand, maybe some clothing, right? So that means through your clothes, you may have probably earned some what you call āsavās. But if you use them in a proper way, it doesn't mean that you cannot go and buy branded stuff. Just go for it if you want it. But when you use it, if you really see it, I'm using them for what you call just to live, just to cover up, just for my comfort, right? Yes, Aliyah, it's contemplation too, reflection, contemplation. So you can say it's similar. So, so this is another way you can minimize your āsavās regarding clothing, food, and all that. Call it patisevana. Then adivāsana here. Adivāsana is another way to what you call overcome your some of the āsavās. Adivāsana means tolerance or patience. Does patience really help us to minimize our āsavās? Now, say for instance, our sensuality. How many people go very crazy without being tolerant? Even when they go eating, when they go enjoying their life, they can't keep up with their patience. They run out of their patience. Right? So patience is one of the ways, not only the one way, one of the ways of overcoming certain āsavās. We will be studying more later, not today, just to let you know. And then parivajjana. Parivajjana means, as you can see here, avoiding. Sometimes we may have to avoid certain people, toxic people. Have you done that before? Or you may have to, no, I'm going to be with my toxic people. I have to practice metta. I don't want to go away from them, How did the Buddha ask us to be with the toxic people? Narcissist, toxic, always giving bad energy. The Buddha said, yes, the first thing is metta. Because of metta, you cannot create hatred to it. But because they are toxic people, we cannot keep up with them also. So we cannot, in a dilemma, this side. So what are we supposed to do at that point? We are going to avoid them in the proper way. What is the proper way? You have to find it out. The proper way. There is no one proper way, right? Maybe some dumb folks do that now, and they are invited for a party, house party. Is that person coming to the party? Oh, I'm not going to come to your party then. Checking out, because you don't want to mingle with them. But if you create hatred, if you create dosa all the time, that is not good.
But Bhante, isn't that aversion? You avoid the person is a form of...
No, I don't think so. If it is aversion, then Buddha would not have given parivajjana. It is not, I think it is just to protect, give you the safe zone. I don't think nobody needs to suffer from anybody in this life, even from their parents, siblings, spouse, or whoever. They should be eligible to find their happiness. But how to do that? That is the thing. So you cannot simply run away from your household. You cannot simply avoid. So you should know how to minimize this issue, right?
How, Bhante?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It is very individualistic.
Very difficult.
There's no one way for that. Let's say a lot of people, they are going to be vocal about it. I don't like you. You have done so much mess in my life. That kind of an approach could be escalating the issue, probably. So maybe you are trying to minimize talking that much compared to the past. Maybe you are not going to, keep up a lot, but still you are showing them that I still have metta for you. Right? But
difficult.
But Yes.
Metta
I still,
and I don't like you actually.
metta and avoiding, they are two things actually. Avoiding means you cannot, yes. Because if you create hatred in you, long term, your cells can die. That could take you to a cancer one day.
Suffering.
Further research about it actually, I saw somewhere. Because you don't show to anybody, but you are so much angry about one particular person, maybe it's a group of people. So what you are doing is over time that you are destroying your good cells. And when cells are going to die, that means definitely things go in a very bad way. So avoiding is not hatred, because we have to look at what is going in your heart, what is going in your mind, because you cannot be with them. That is why you make a healthy choice in a better way. Maybe you're gonna say thank you, hi and bye, but you cannot, keep up with them as you used to be in the past. So here,
right.
once again,
Yeah, right, Bhante.
yes. So do not destroy, do not drop your metta for anybody. Metta should be for everybody. But you cannot.
Bhante, which sutta is the Buddha talk about avoiding toxic people?
No, here, this sutta,
This
Sabbāsava.
sutta. Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm reading. So
Okay.
let's see again here.
Okay.
I can see here. Āsavā adivasana, Āsavā parivajjana pahata.
Okay.
Parivajjana, avoiding. Right? And then Āsavā vinodana pahata. There are certain other, what you call, things, maybe concepts, things that you may have to get rid of. This could be probably certain inanimate things too. Maybe the first one is about individuals. Second one is about certain things. Let's say you don't follow a proper path to go somewhere. You go on a thorny road, and then you get pricked because there's a thorny thing. And then you feel like, what is the first reaction when something thorny prick you? I should have not, stepped on that particular thing. So those are rises.
Yeah.
That means not only the toxic people, but there are certain toxic things that we have to understand. Maybe certain processes, right? Now, say for instance, you know that this highway is giving you lots of time and time consuming, right? Maybe you know that you should not get into this highway. You should not get in this particular area. Then you are so mad about it. You are so unhappy about it. You can't go to your work in time. But you did not pay attention to it last night. Maybe you did not pay attention to today morning situation in your house. Then you still go to that particular traffic. Then you are unhappy about it, right? That means not only some of the toxic individuals that we have to avoid, but still going to practice metta, but also certain inanimate things, non-living stuff too, that we may have to, maybe processes, methods, roads that we may have to avoid in order for us to stay consistent in our practice of good mental states. Right? And then finally, Āsavā bhāvana pahātappa. There are certain other āsavas that you may have to, you may have to overcome by practicing bhavana. What is bhavana here?
Meditation.
Bhavana does not simply mean meditation. Bhavana here means cultivating your
Mind.
thoughts.
Thoughts.
We cannot cultivate our mind. Mind is just a just a faculty. We cultivate our thoughts. Buddha said chittanupassana. Right? We cultivate our thoughts, especially sati, dhamma, vicaya, virya, piti, passati, samadhi, upekka, bojjhanas. So now that means it is not only cultivating our thoughts that we're going to overcome āsavas, but also there are certain 6 other ways that we have to put in place at different times. So today we are going to take a look at the first one a little bit, depending on our time. Okay, so the first one has some information. You can see 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple information up until here. You can see Sangha Pahatapa comes a little bit further down. I want to give you an idea about it first. So I think you will understand without going to read the text first. Now here dasana means a lot of people have been unable to see the akusalas, especially āsavās here, because they create sakkaya ditthi. That is why they have been unable to overcome āsavās with the first methodology here. Once you create sakkaya ditthi, you are not able to see what it is. Then what is supportive for us to practice this first method without creating sakkaya ditthi is yoniso manasikara. Because if you practice yoniso manasikara, we are not going to create sakkaya ditthi, so that we are able to see everything, every mental state as it arises, as it comes to be, as it perishes or goes away. So what's the idea here then? We are not going to create views with the sakkaya ditthi, because we are going to practice yoniso manasikara. This is the way how we're going to overcome āsavās according to the first method. Now, because we are doing the sutta reading, we will go read the sections. Okay. First, we're going to be reading from here, Dasana Sabbāsava, from here to here, Katamacha. So who would like to read now, folks? Kim, yes. Kim is very bold. Okay, Kim, go ahead. Yes.
Kati me che bhikkhave āsavā dasana pahatava ida bhikkhave asutava putu jano ariyanam adasavi ariyadamasa akovido ariyadame avinito sapuri sanam adasavi sapurisa damasa akovido sapurisa dame avinito manasikaraniya dame napaja
Manasikaraniye.
manasikaraniye dame napajanati amanasikariniye dama napajanati so manasikaraniye dame apajananto amanasikaraniye dame apajananto ye dama na manasikaraniye te dame manasi karoti ye dama manasikaraniye te dama na manasikaroti.
Great. We should appreciate the Kim reading this difficult passage. Great.
That's why I'm on the Pali class.
Yes, see.
Yeah.
She's attending the Pali class on Thursday, and she
So I need to
doesn't mind
practice.
whatever the text she's able to read. It's
I
good.
need to practice. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good. I don't mean that others cannot. I mean, she's very improving. Good. Kata me cha bhikkhave āsavā dasana pahatappa. Ida bhikkhave asutava putujjanam ariyana adassa ariya dhammassa akovito ariya dhamme avinito sappurisanang adassavi sappurisa dhammassa akovito sappurisa dhamme avinito manasikaraniye dhamme nappajanati amanasikaraniye dhamme nappajanati so manasikaraniye dhamme appajanantu amanasikaraniye dhamme appajanantu ye dhamma na Manasikaraneya. Te dhamme manasikarut. Ye dhamma manasikaraniya te dhamme manasikarut. Now, you don't need to be very much confused by looking at the text now, folks. What you need to understand is the most important part here. Now, the Buddha says why someone is not able to see or maybe use Yoniso Manasikara. It is because these issues. There is somebody, we call that person Asutava. Who is Asutava? Asutava Putujjano. Now, Putujjano, it's been explained with another word, Asutava. Asutava means someone who does not listen to Dhamma. Now, there are people who always say, I don't need to listen to Dhamma. I only practice meditation. Asutava means we need to listen to Dhamma because listening to Dhamma is very important. Asutava means uninstructed, or I would say someone who does not regularly listen to a Dhamma talk. Right? So listening to a Dhamma talk time to time is very important because when you hear the what you call Dhamma sharing from different Dhamma speakers, you have to listen to different Dhamma speakers. Then you will understand how is it going to work. Different perspective, especially Dhamma talks based on the suttas. That is very important. So here there is the unenlightened person. That means anybody who has not attained Sotapanna, who is at the same time not well instructed, not listening to them. Ariyanam Āsavās. Āsavās means someone who does not see Ariyanam. Who are the Ariya here? Ariya. Ariya means those noble individuals. We would call them Sangha in particular. Ariya, Sangha who have attained different spiritual attainments. Huh? So now the person does not listen to Dhamma and is an unenlightened person and does not want to see the Aryas, those Sangha who has attained different stages. Arya Dhammassa Akovido. Akovido means unskilled. We're not well versed about Arya Dhammassa. So this person is not well versed in the Dhamma. That means if you really want to understand Dhamma, you need a certain skill in learning some Dhamma teachings. It is necessary. Otherwise, you will learn Dhamma from translations. Akovidu means you need a certain understanding about the Pali text, at least the contextual things. As you can see here, go back. Who has no regard for the well-versed or discipline in their discipline means we call avinito. That means why is discipline a matter here? As you can see, Sappurisanang Āsavās, that means not being able to see the wise beings, and then not being very much skilled in the Dhamma. At the same time, not discipline in the Dhamma. Discipline means no sila. That means we need some level of sila in our practice. Manasikaraniye dhamme nappajana. Then when somebody does not listen to a certain regular Dhamma talks, not being able to see the noble ones, not skilled in the Dhamma, not disciplined in the Dhamma, at that point, this person does not understand the Dhamma that should be developed. Amanasikaraniye dhamme nappajana. At the same time, this person does not know what should not be developed in the mind. That means what should be developed in the mind, what should not be developed in the mind. These two things are not very familiar to this person. So manasikaraniye dhamme appajantu, amanasikaraniye dhamme appajantu, ye dhamma na manasikaraniya, te dhamme manasikaroti, ye dhamma manasikaraniya, te dhamme Manasikara. So when someone does not know what should be focused on, what should be reflected on, this person will reflect on the unnecessary things, that means adhamma, and then not reflect upon the good things through the Yoniso Manasikara. So this is the issue where this person is creating Sakkaya Ditthi at a certain point. The second section also has the same thing. Probably I would read until we will go to this area a little bit. Katamecha bhikkave dhamma na manasakaraniya ye dhamme manasakaroti. And what are the, what you call dhamma? Unfit for attention, what he attends to. You can see. Yassa bhikkave dhamme manasikaroto anuppannova kamasavo uppajjati. Uppannova kamasavo pavaddati. Anuppannova bhavasavo uppajjati. Uppannova bhavasavo pavaddati. Anuppannova avijjasavo uppajjati. Uppannova avijjasavo pavaddati. Ime dhamma na manasakaraniya ye dhamme manasikaroti. Now, Sabbāsava Sutta, or the Buddha, shares with us what should not be given attention to. What are the contents that we should not give our attention to? That means if you have Yoniso Manasikara, you are not going to give your attention to these particular areas of the thoughts. Let's see. You will simply understand them as Kāmāsavu. That means you are not giving any attention to create any non-existing, maybe inactive karmas, right? At the same time, you are not developing any karmas that is already in place. At the same time, you are not creating any more bhavas, thoughts of becoming, and you are not also going to create any thoughts of becoming further in this life. At the same time, you are not creating any what you call
Avijja.
avijja, ignorance, any more avijja, and at the same time, you are not developing any avijja thoughts that you have. Right? You can see karma, bhava, and avijja. So these are the things that you are not going to develop because you know that you have to bring Yoniso Manasikara to each moment of your life. So these are the amanasikaraniya matters, maybe subjects that you should not give what you call, you should give proper attention, what you call wise attention, not giving Ayoniso Manasikara. Because if you give unwise attention, then what will happen? You are going to get trapped with those things. Any questions about it before we go to the second section? Has the conversation become a little confused to some?
Bhante,
Little
Sakkaya,
confused?
Bhante,
Yes, Kim.
Sakkaya Ditthi in short is what? Sakkaya Ditthi.
Sakkaya Ditthi simply means clinging to 5 aggregates. That's the
Clinging.
very brief explanation. But still, we haven't go to that level here. We are going there actually. That is the ultimate purpose of the first strategy here. Still, we are looking at why we are creating Sakkaya. What are the background process of creating Sakkaya Ditthi? The Buddha says it is because we are driven by Ayoniso Manasikara, unwise attention. So we have to create Yoniso Manasikara so that we are not creating, we are not going to create any more karma āsavās. We are not develop any karma āsavās we have. We are not create any more avijja, any more bhava, or we are not going to develop any more avijja or bhava we already have.
Okay,
so
thank you, Bhante.
this is how we can, any other things that if you have any confusion about things that we done so far today, you can ask at the end too. Okay, let's proceed. Then we can go to this part. Katamecha bhikkave dhamma manasikaraniya ye dhamme na manasikarotu. Yassa bhikkave dhamme manasikarotu. Anuppannova kāmāsavo na uppajjati. Uppannova kāmāsavo pahiyati. Anuppannova bhavāsavo na uppajjati. Uppannova bhavāsavo pahiyati. Anuppannova avijjāsavo na uppajjati. Uppannova avijjāsavo pahiyati. Ime dhamma manasikaraniya ye dhamme na manasikaraniya. Now, this is, on the other hand, the same idea, but what you understand here is that now when you give lots of effort to stop creating, I would say, stop giving ayoniso manasikara to these karmas, bhavas, and then avijja, āsavās, then you are definitely giving wise attention to their arising, non-arising. Same idea, but in a different way. That means when you practice yoniso manasikara, you are going to stop these āsavās arising. Maybe they are existing ones developing in the real time. That is what we call by dasana, actually, the whole strategy. All right, so we have come down to this part. Anybody wants to read? Tassa, who would like to read? We will ask others from here. Who would like to brush up some Pali? Brush up some Pali.
I read Bhante.
Okay, brother, go ahead.
Okay.
Tassa.
Tassa amanasikaraniyanam dhamanam manasikariniyanam dhamanam amanasikara anupana ceva asava upajanti upana cha asava pavadanti.
Great. Tassa amanasikaraniyanam dhammanam manasikara. Now things have gone unfortunately wrong here. Now that person has not done properly. Now what has happened here? Things have unfortunately gone to the wrong side. Now this person is creating sakkaya ditthi. Tassa amanasikaraniyanam dhammanam manasikara. Manasikāraniyanam dhammanam amanasikara. Anuppanna ceva āsava uppajjanti. Uppanna ca āsava pavadanti. In short, now that particular person who has not understood the importance of bringing wise attention to kama, bhava, avijja, these āsavās, now messes up here. How? Amanasikaraniyanam dhammana manasikara. Now he or she is going to think about giving attention to, giving his unwise attention to the Dhamma matters that he or she should not have given attention to. At the same time, manasikaraniyanam dhammana amanasikara. At the same time, this person does not give attention, wise attention to the dhammas that he or she should give attention to. Now what happens? Āsavā, but influxes are coming up now. Influxes are piling up. Āsavās are building up now. Not even that. Āsavā uppajjanti. New āsavās are building up, and the active āsavās are going to be developed, which is really unnecessary. How does it happen? This is how it happens. This is very interesting. This is about a timeline, what you call a periodical way of creating what you call sakkaya ditthi at the end. Maybe we're going to be asking somebody else. This is how this person is dragged by ayoniso manasikara and creating sakkaya ditthi at a certain point, or views at a certain point. Anybody wants to read?
Okay, Bhante, I'll try. Bhante, I'll try.
Yes.
Okay. So, evam ayoniso manasi karoti. Abosim nu ko aham atita
Atita Madhanam.
atita. Oh, I can't see. I would like to
Okay,
get
let me.
Bhante,
Yeah, give me a
increase the
second.
size a bit. Yeah, because I'm reading from my phone.
Okay. Cannot probably. Okay, this is. This
Atita.
is. Yeah, this is where I can.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nanu ko abosim atita madanam.
Mhm.
Kinu ko abosim
Ahosing.
abosim atita manadanam.
Atita Madhanam.
Atita mahanam
Madhanam.
madanam. Katam no ko abosim.
Ahosing.
Ahosim.
H.
Oh,
Ahosing.
all right, sorry. Ahosim no ko aham atita madanam
Atita Madhanam.
Yeah. Bhavisami no ko aham
I think you are reading other lines. It's okay. I will be reading. It's kind of a complicated phrase for many. It's okay.
All right.
So, evam ayoniso manasi karoti. Now, this is how that person is going to reflect with ayoniso manasikara. See? Ahosing nuko ahang atita madhana. You can see. Was I in the past? Na nuko ahosing atita madhana. Was I not in the past? Kinnuko ahosing atita madhana. What was I in the past? Now this is about investigating his or her past life. Katang nuko ahosing atita madhana. How was I in the past? King hutwa king ahosing nuko ahang atita madhana. Can see, having been what was I in the past? So we will read Bhavissami nuko ahang anagata madhana. So same goes to the future. Shall I be in the future? Shall I not be in the future? Nanuko bhavissami, kin nuko bhavissami, katan nuko bhavissami, king hutva kim bhavissami. In this way, etarahicha pachupanna madhanang ajjatan. Now we come down to the present time. Katan kati hoti, ahang nuko, ahang nu kosmi. No nu kosmi. Here you can see. How shall I be in the future? Having been what? What shall I be in the future? Or else, he or she is inwardly perplexed about the immediate present. Am I? Am I not? What am I? How am I? Where has this being come from? Where is it bound? Kinukosmi, katanukosmi, ayannuko, sattu, kutu, agato, so kuhingami, bhavisa. Actually, these are these very bad ways of looking at life. How did I come? Who was I in the past? Do we do that, or do we not do this normally in our life? Just tell me the plain version.
Bhante, sometimes, not all the time.
When you see somebody who can read your palms, you give your palm, tell me about my past life. Who doesn't do that? Everybody does that. You go to India, you go see somebody, can you tell me who was I in the past? And who will I be in the future? What will be my future life? I think these are very normal aspects of everybody's personal thoughts about his or her previous life, maybe the future life.
Sometimes can be scary because if you listen and you don't follow, it's not good.
If
Unless
you don't
follow, then you listen, then you bother asking.
No you don't want to follow, don't need to ask from anybody.
Yeah. I mean, if you think, oh no, if they say something not good, and then you feel very bad. They ask you to do this, do that, and then you're not sure if you want to do it. So the best thing is don't go it. Don't bother asking.
That means you have your own so manasikara. Next time, don't give your palm to somebody.
Yeah, I won't.
Because Because people who are bothered by these past, future, actually your past has already gone.
Yeah.
Future has not yet come. And
Yeah.
according to Buddhism, we cannot know
If in
who
the
will I
present
be
moment,
in the future. Who will I be in the future also?
Yeah.
Because until you spend the last moment, you never know who will you be after that. So why are we bothered by these past things and the future things?
there's a song
Right?
also, what will I be?
Yes. So I think so. The idea here that we have to learn is that people who have lots of sakkaya ditthi, they are very much suffering from knowing who were we in the past, who will we be in the future. So this polarization is always happening in their mind, right? So this is what we understand. That means if you are really concerned about your Dhamma practice, you don't have to be worried about your past, your future, because it's already gone. Definitely, you must have done a very good karma to be born as a human, right? Now, the Buddha says, when someone has lots of ayoniso manasikara, unwise attention, this person always wondering, who was I, how was I, and because of what I was I, and then what is my future like, and all these questions come to such. If you look at the people who are very much into this understanding, could you think about certain group of people who are very much bothered by their past life and who are very much bothered about their future life? Who could be such people?
Bhante, unstable people.
Mostly unstable people.
Yeah.
Right? Mostly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody by default would like to know, but there are people who are very much bothered by their past life, maybe their future life, right? And we also don't know whether what the people are saying is true or not
When we
true,
were
right?
young, Bhante, we used to do that.
Yeah, young time is just sometimes so fun, you know. We will get to know from what other people think.
So as we age, we
But
become
when it
wise.
comes to the know the Dharma,
Mhm.
yeah, after I came to know about the Dharma, I don't ask all
More-
these questions.
Yeah, so that
No.
means you are practicing yours so much. You don't worry about, you don't worry about as such.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's then go past this section. Yeah.
Bhante, Bhante,
Yes.
there were many instances in the suttas where certain monks has passed away, and then those monks who has not passed away, they come and ask the Buddha, oh, where is he now? Where is he now? And the Buddha tell them, oh, he's here, he's there. How come the Buddha also tell the people where the person passed away is here or there?
No, that is a special context. It is not this context. Actually, most of the most of the people who asked what was the next life of that particular person was Mara, not other monks. You remember the monk Godika? Now Godika was a monk, and he started practicing a lot of jhanas, and finally he was very frustrated about his jhana practice. He expired. Then he passed away. It is said that he cut his neck or something. And then Mara was watching him. And Mara came as a small child and asked the Buddha, what happened to Bhante Godika? And Buddha said, people like you will never know where Bhante Godika was, but where Bhante Godika went. Right? So I think it's not a normal practice. Now here it is about an unenlightened person who really wants to attain Nibbana, at least to become a Sotapanna, his or her process. If you're really into that process, then you are not bothered by past, future, and whatever other things. And Buddha is an exceptional context here. Because Buddha had a knowledge called Chutupapata Jnana, where people were reborn.
Yeah.
So we cannot bring that to normal unenlightened people. Chutupapata, where somebody was reborn. And then actually he did not use it all the time, only unless some persons were bothered by that. Remember what happened to Mallika? Queen Mallika passed away. She had done something not good and she thought about it. And then King Kosala he wanted to ask every day when he leaves the palace for the first week. He thought, today I would ask from the Buddha, what happened to my Mallika? And then Buddha purposely forgets about it. And then after 1 week, after 1 week, he did not let him forget about it. And he said, Bhante, what happened to Mallika? I really loved her. And the Buddha said, he is in a heaven. Oh, really? But for the past week, she was in a hell. Right? Because she's the lady who did the largest dana to the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. So we have to caution us. If Mallika had gone to the hell for a week, and we have no guarantee about our future. That's why we have to be very careful about not doing any small mistake. Because this small mistake can come up during the time of the death.
Bad thing.
And then take us into a different place, even for a short time. Yes, Brother Wu? Yeah. So just for your own safety for the next life, if you are really concerned about it. Okay. So then let's go back to our over here. Okay. Tassa evang ayoniso manasikarotu. Now what is happening when someone is practicing ayoniso manasikara? In which way? By thinking about the past, by thinking about the future, by thinking about this, what you call present life in unnecessary ways, then there are certain views that are going to arise in that person's mind. What are they? Anyatara, Channang, Dittinang, Anyatara, Ditti Uppat. So there are certain views, what you call one of the 6 kind of views arise. What are the views? Attime attativa assa sacchato tetato ditti uppajjati. Let's go by English. The view, I have a self arises in me as true and established. That means I have a self. Oh, I don't have a self. Right? So there are certain views that are arising when you are creating such what you call unnecessary reflection about the life, especially about the past, future, and present time. What we have to learn here in short is that when you are bringing ayoniso manasikara, unwise attention to your life, then you are creating unnecessary views. But if you are bringing yoniso manasikara, you are not bringing such views. I think depending on the time, I'm not going to finish that part today because we have to learn something interesting over there. It's almost 15 minutes away from our finishing time. So what I can say at this point to you, we will leave this up to the next Friday. Here, when someone is attending to what you call kama bhava avijja with unwise attention, this person is mostly stuck in his or her past life, or maybe in the future life, maybe the life now, because the Buddha says that we are not supposed to be worried about these timings. In another sutta, Buddha says we should not dwell in the past. We should not dwell in the future. We have to particularly attend to the present moment by making the best out of our past, planning the best for our future. Are we not supposed to go to the past when we are just spending our day, maybe our life? Is past no important?
No.
Are we as Buddhists, are we supposed to go to the past?
No.
No? Really? Other answers?
No.
That means your past has no value to you?
Not at all.
Not at all. I
When we-
believe that there are no toxic people in the past. Others?
When we use the past as a lesson,
That's
learn.
but even to use that past as a lesson, we will have to go to the past. What is the
Yes.
most important thing in the past? We go to the past, but do not dwell in the past. Do
Mm.
not live in the past.
Mm.
That is the
Mm.
mistake a lot of people do. They go to the past and then they don't like people in the past. When they like the moments in the past, they go and now they are not in the present moment. They are in the past. They are going to dwell in that moment. What about the future? Are we supposed to go to the future or not?
No.
Not necessary.
Not necessarily.
Not
Don't we
dwell
need
in
to
the
plan ahead
future.
our future?
Sometimes.
And we have to plan ahead our
Yeah.
future. Why not? Why not? Tomorrow, what are you going to do? Next month? But we should not live in the future. Dwell in the future, because future has not yet come. Right? Because our present moment is our past, our future. Because now, if you say, for instance, 9:45, take your time, 9:45. This 9:45 is your present moment. And it will be, you think that maybe 9:47 could be your future, but in a moment of time, it will become your present moment. In another moment of time, it will become your past. That means our sansara, our nibbana, our past, our future, they all are spectrum of our this moment. So then, rather we are not going to live in those moments. We are going to understand. We are going to learn our mistakes. We are going to plan ahead, and we are going to make use of our present moment to the best of us. This is the plan. But unwise person does not understand. When he wants to go to the past, he's stuck in the past. And he's going to argue with the past. He's going to always think, this should not have happened. This shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have done this thing. And all these remorses arise in that person's mind. And when the unwise person goes to the future, it will be the same in a different way. When unwise person does not manage both past and the future, he or she brings all the unnecessary stuff into the present moment. This is where he is going to create lots of views that we will be studying next Friday. All right, any questions for today? I'm going to check the...
Bhante, I just want to find out, Bhante, who did this, when did Buddha taught this
Or
sutta to who? To
present moment is
one particular person or one group of person or somebody? Who is it?
This sutta?
This sutta was taught to who?
Yeah, we can go to the background story over. You can see here. Evam me sutang ekam samayam bhagava savatya. So he gave the Dhamma talk at the Jetavanarama. Tatra ko bhagava bhikkhu ama. So to certain monks. The monks who were at that time in the temple. Yeah.
Why I asked because Bhante, this sutta looks like a very difficult sutta, Bhante. Very difficult, you must have teacher.
I think it's not
Very
difficult.
advanced students.
I'm going to make you all
Ah,
advanced students.
Not difficult.
Advanced in the proper advanced way. Yes. That's why we pick up these very important ones, not like the suttas that you don't know.
Especially the Pali words, Bhante, very, very long. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tell you this. I think we already had an agreement a long time ago, before we started off this sutta discussion. We are not going to worry too much
Pali.
about Pali. So I think let's bring that here today, just to calm you down. So don't worry about that. So that's why I kind of stopped at that place where the views are starting. So next Friday, I will be only picking up the English names of the views, and then we will just pass that section.
Bhante,
So don't worry about each Pali word unless they are very much important.
it's a very good practice. If you ask me, it's very good practice to learn the, I mean, not learn, but to speak the, it's very long, and then it's like, it makes you, pay a very attention to it when you read it.
Yeah. Yes, Ariana?
Bhante, just now the Bhante said that there are 4 types of Āsavā.
Hmm.
Do you mind, please Bhante explain again about these 4 types of Āsavā? Thank you, Bhante.
Oh, Kama, Bhava, Ditta, Avijja. Kama Āsava, that means sensuality is a form of Āsava, influxes. Then Bhava means becoming, that means people are trying to be reborn and this and that. It is also an Āsava, second influxes. Third is Ditti, views. Now this is what we will be studying next Friday, how the unwise person is creating Ditti, views out of the, what you call past, future and the present time. And then finally, Avijja, ignorance. It is the highest Āsava.
Thank you.
Makes sense? Here,
Bhante can write for us, Bhante.
all right, let me do that here. It's pretty easy. 4 types of Āsavas. 1, sexuality. Number 2, Bhava, becoming. Number 3, Ditti, views. Number 4, Avijja. Now these are the main Āsavas. You could also say the only 4 Āsavas. Where are all the other kilesas? What kilesa is starting off? Ignorance. Okay. Āsavas. All right. Any more questions for today? So don't worry. Don't pay a lot of attention to. We have to pay attention to certain Pali words, but not in this sutta unless I show them that this is important. So let's just pass those sections by understanding the most important sections, maybe the most important Dhamma matters. So next week, I will be recapping, probably maybe summarizing what are the views, names of the views, and we will pass that part. But so far, you have to keep in mind certain very important things. What is the first thing? There are Āsavas. There are 4 types of Āsavas: Kama, Bhava, Ditti, Avijja. These Āsavas cannot be always overcome in one way. There are 7 ways to overcome. We just started the way how to overcome by seeing them in their real time. In that we learn how to see them is only by using Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention. But if somebody has unfortunately missed that opportunity, that person then goes into Ayoniso Manasikara, unwise attention. At that point, this person's or that person's unwise attention is mostly revolved around, rooted in the past, present, future, questions about his life or her life. Now, when that unfortunate thing arises, then what happens? He or she is creating different views. This is what we learned so far. All right, any questions? If you have any other questions, you can ask later by sending me a message. Don't worry. If there's anything that you don't understand.
Yeah, maybe next lessons, can Bhante clarify the subtle meanings of like defilements, factors, and yeah, they are mainly like our defilements, and sometimes
Yeah.
we see factors, and sometimes you say there's another word we often say. So what are the subtle differences?
Well, I think I already explained last time. Today also I kind of explained. Let me explain to you again. Now, roots, akusala roots and kusala roots, they are the starting point, what you call lobha, dosa, moha, alobha, dosa, moha, right? And then asavas. These are asavas, kama, bhava, ditti, avijja. But when you ask fetters, it is a different way of looking at our sansaric life. That means sangyojan.
Oh,
Right? So it is said that we are enchained by 10 things, 10 chains. That means what you call sakkaya ditti, vichikicha, sila. So I think what you need to understand is that it is the same thing, but depending on the function of those akusalas, āsavās, they have been given differently. By function, they are different. Otherwise, they are the same akusala states of mind. That means each category has a different function. Now, āsava has a different function. That means influxing. These are influxing. Sanyojanas are what we call by, they are chainas. They are chainas into samsara. But they are also akusala states of mind.
Bhante, influxing means what?
Influxes in the Sabbāsava Sutta means that there are certain akusala states of mind that are always flowing in. They are always discharging from the akusala roots.
Okay.
There's a discharge.
Okay.
Right? So karma is always a discharge in us. Bhava is always a discharge. Ditti is always a discharge. Avijja is always a discharge. But when you are an ayoniso manasikara person, you have a great discharge of karma. You have an abundant discharge of karma, bhava, ditti, avijja. So we can actually stop the discharge happening that way. That is what we call by influx. Influx has a different meaning in English, but here, discharge of the akusala roots. Yeah.
And another word is taints, Bhante. Taints, Taints. So I get all.
Yeah, there are many translations. We are not picking up all these translations by Western scholars, Western monks. What we are trying to learn is the literal meaning, at the same time, the contextual meaning. The contextual meaning is that a discharge, akusala discharge. So that happens through āsavās. Right? That is what we have to understand here. So I think next time when you want to learn this from somebody, maybe somewhere, better to use the Pali word. Bhante, can you explain to us about āsava a little bit? Not Bhante, can you explain to me about taints? What is taints? Cankers.
Yeah.
It is taking you to another big issue, So go by the Pali word, then that will help you to stay focused. That will help the particular Dhamma speaker also to stay focused to answer you.
Right. Yes.
All right. Looks like there are no questions, so we will be then winding this up from this point. So if you found anything not clear, so please let me know. Maybe you can ask next week too. Next week, we will be studying about the views, particular views, which the unwise person is going to start, create. All right. Let's transfer all the good karmas at this point. Sumana, you have a question?
No, Bhante, thank you.
Okay, good. May all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today by discussing about the first strategy of overcoming āsavās be transferred to all the departed ones. May departed ones be well and happy. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. May all the good karmas be shared by all the devas, nagas, and mahitikas. May Deva, Naga, Mahitika be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safe. In particular, for your Dhamma journey. May Deva, Naga, Mahitika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Ittavata cha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Ittavata cha ammihi Sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. In this endless samsaric journey, may we be in company of Kalyana Mittas. Kalyana Mittas do support us, maintain, deepen our Dhamma practice. And may we be not in the company of the Papa Mittas who can drag us from the Dhamma. Thinking thus, we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanimbana panthaya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we've been creating, making today, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhisse niccang baddha pacaino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang. Ayurarogya sampatti sakka sampatti nivacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And one more thing I wanted to make, as some of you said that maybe the first approach, method to overcome the Āsavās has some information, but from the 2nd to 7, you don't see lots of difficult Pali words. There are few, so it's a good news. So don't worry about it. Don't be discouraged. So plus we will be learning definitely. So I wish you a good night and see you then next Friday at the same time. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you very much.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you.
Brothers.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Bhante.